Welcome and thank you for having me here today to speak about gratitude. I'm grateful and appreciative of that. I am first and foremost a child of God, as we all are. I'm a published author of 2 books, and I'm currently having my life memoir, Breaking Shame, Reclaiming My Identity, which is coming out in January of 2026. I also host a weekly YouTube show on Tuesdays at 3:30 Pacific time, Think Outside the Box, and we talk about spiritual principles, applying them in our life, and I use myself as an example. I'm also a public speaker and a virtual speaker. I've spoken on the International Women's Day of Conference in 2024, and this year I was able to speak at the New Ascension Summit Conference on forgiveness and the B Word Summit in July about male boundaries. And we all need to have boundaries in our life. That was an awesome topic. Also, I am a life coach healer. I work with individuals and group counseling, and I'm a public speaker. And this is my first event, and my show of appreciation and gratitude to the president for calling and asking me for this opportunity. I'm grateful for that, so give her a hand. Gratitude. What is gratitude? The quality of being thankful, the readiness to show appreciation and return kindness. And we all know that Thanksgiving is coming around the corner, and we are grateful and appreciative to be with family, most of them. And we're grateful and appreciative to be with them. Yeah, and we give thanks. Yeah, is it just a one-day experience, or should it be a lifetime? Gratitude is an energy that you can use daily in your life. And as you can see, the 4 parts of gratitude, the first part is attention. And you may say, well, how do I focus my attention on gratitude? By focusing on the good in your life. What good is happening in your life? You're in good health, you have good finances, good friends, family members, etc., so on. That's focusing on attention. Acknowledgement. Acknowledging is communication. Acknowledging yourself. Being grateful for who you are, being grateful for your family members, for your friends, being grateful for the 50 and Over Club and everybody here. Appreciation and gratitude. Appreciation is the next step, and that's being able to be active, a way to show gratitude. How are you able to show others in your life that you appreciate them other than saying thank you? Do you go the extra mile and pick somebody up? That's a form of appreciation. That's an action, actually. Inaction is a way of showing gratitude, by going in the extra mile for somebody. And the golden rule of gratitude is applying and actually using the principle of treating others as you'd like to be treated is the expression of gratitude. Yet how many of us really treat others the way we desire to be treated? Think about that, because if we really treated others like we desire to be treated, would this world be the way that it is today? I don't think so. There are 6 pillars of gratitude, and I use these 6 pillars in my life, and I'm going to relate this to a personal story. I don't know how many of you have went through this experience, but I, at the age of 53, had open heart surgery. And it was an experience that I had never been through before. And I took relatedness, and how I took the energy and the gratitude of relatedness, and I prioritized myself, the relationship with myself, over all that was happening in my life. Because for me to be in that situation, for my heart to be in that condition, I took on a lot of negative energy in my life. So I had to relate and prioritize my relationship with myself. That was the first thing I did. And I became interdependent with God. I was interdependent on God. And then I had sincerity in my life by expressing gratitude for the outcome. I didn't know how open heart surgery would come. I thank God for the doctors. I thank God for the nurses. I thank God for being at Keck USC Hospital, which is the #1 hospital for open heart surgery. I was grateful and sincerely grateful for that. So that's how I use sincerity in my life. Empathy. I had to use empathy for myself, understanding that even though I put myself in this position, I didn't have to beat myself up for going through this experience. And I chose to give myself empathy, to love myself through it, to know that I was supported, that I had my church family, Jan, Marie, Mother Francis, Laura, they were all there for me in supporting and loving me through this experience. So I used that understanding of empathy and I applied it to myself. And it works. It really works, angels. And self-regard, having a healthy respect for myself as a part of my ability to be grateful. That open heart surgery gave me the ability to be grateful for who I am. Because angels, prior to that surgery, I couldn't walk 2 steps without getting out of breath. I was born with a hole in my heart, but it was the size of a dime as a child. I went through life, didn't think anything about it. In my 50s, all of a sudden, I'm in the hospital. I can't walk, I can't breathe. We take our breath for granted. Never gave it a second thought till I couldn't breathe. And in the hospital, they told me that that hole went from the size of a dime to the size of a quarter. And I was in the USC part of the administration, going in for a doctor's appointment. And I couldn't even walk, and I collapsed in that administration part right there. And they took me and rushed me into the ICU. In the ICU, I put up a video, and it's on my YouTube page. Oxygen mask on, tubes in and everything. Yet I'm giving thanks and gratefulness to God to be in this situation so that I could have this open heart surgery. Because I knew on the other side, I would be a more vibrant, healthy person. And today, angels, my oxygen level is 100%. I'm healthy and whole, and that's grace to God. So that is using the energy of gratitude in the respect of self-regard. And then in integrity, I had to be honest with myself because I'm a smoker. And I didn't want to have to stop smoking. And I was like, oh! And my ego was trying to convince myself that it was okay to continue even though my heart surgery was complete. And this is still something that I'm challenging myself with. Yet I'm using appreciation and gratefulness by giving thanks, by having the energies and giving thanks and being grateful that it's lessening and that I'm choosing a different way and giving thanks and appreciation in that manner. And I had to be honest with myself. So that's where integrity, honesty comes into play. And then humility. When I was in that hospital, I couldn't take care of myself. And I've taken care of myself for 36 years. And I had to have somebody wipe myself, bathe me, and angels, that was very, very hard to accept in the beginning. Yet, as I went through that process, because I was in and out of hospitals for more than a year, I allowed myself to accept that and become humble. And that open heart surgery experience helped me to become humble, to value my life, to value breath, to be grateful and appreciative for who I am. And angels, that is how gratitude can work in your life as well, and you can apply it to any situation in your life. So those were the 6 pillars of gratitude that I used going through that open heart surgery, which was in 2024, so it was just recently. Underneath, you have affirmations for gratitude. I am grateful for the simple things in my life. You can be grateful for waking up in the morning, be able to get out of bed and, have another day. I appreciate my body and all that it allows me to do. We might not be able to run like we did when we were 17, 18, 19, but we can still get up and walk. Thank you, God. I am grateful for my ability to experience emotions. A lot of us don't want to feel, yet by being grateful and appreciative to feel, we can release and let go and move on and be healthy people. If we hold it all in, it doesn't work. So be grateful and and appreciative for being able to feel. Also, I'm grateful for nourishment, shelter, and the beauty within. And angels, this is one affirmation that I say daily because I see a lot of homeless people out there. And I thought about them in the rain. And I was grateful and appreciative that I had shelter, that I was warm, that I had a bed to sleep in, I had TV to watch except when the internet went out. But other than that, I mean, I was grateful for those small things in life. We don't give it a second thought because we have that. But when you look at these people on the streets, they don't have that. And right there in itself is an example of being grateful and appreciative. Also, I'm thankful for this new day and blessings because this new day gives us new opportunities for new experiences, to think a new way, to meet new people, to have new friends, to think outside the box. And also, I'm grateful for the simplicity of life itself and just for the simplicity of being grateful. That's it. All you have to do is just be grateful that you're grateful. And that energy will work. And like my quote says, gratitude is an attitude. And you can thank your way to health. You can laugh your way to health. You can be happy, grateful, and appreciative for who you are right here, right now, just because you are, nothing else. That, angels, is my take on gratitude. And again, I thank the president of this 50 and Over Club for giving me, Heather Buzzard, of Buzzard's Corner Club, this opportunity to be here. So thank you so much. So before I end, I'd like to just give a call to action, angels, on that paper. There is my website, buzzardscorner.com. I've got my ebook, 8 Easy Steps to Improve Your Life Now, 5 Pillars for Life or Death, What Are You Choosing? Those are available at lulu.com. And I invite anyone, yourself or anyone you know that like to tune in to our weekly show on YouTube at Buzzard's Corner, Think Outside the Box, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for upliftment, inspiration, and encouragement. And we are always willing to work individually or group coaching with whomever would like to. So thank you, and I am grateful and appreciative for your attention.